there, it's Vanessa here with another of my videos designed to help you get started in buy-to-let. Now, I've called this video "Do This One Thing First Before Getting Started in Buy-to-Let," but I'm also going to tag on to that you should do this one thing first before signing up for expensive property training, education, or mentoring, and also before paying upfront for deal sourcing. Now, this video is prompted because I see comments from newbies on social media all the time discussing their first steps into property investment. And they say things like, I'm looking to do buy-to-let, I'm looking to do HMOs, I'm going to try serviced accommodation. To be frank, a lot of time is wasted on what amounts to total fantasy. Finance and money is the lifeblood of any property business. Without it, you're really going to struggle. Now, unless you're a cash buyer with access to significant funds, and assuming that you have the money for a deposit, there is something that you need to do first before you start researching buy-to-let and the different strategies, and that is speak to a reputable mortgage broker. A conversation with a broker will bring into huge clarity what you can achieve in reality. They will advise you as to the financial products that you have access to with your particular personal situation. Now, if you do this, it will stop you scattergunning around all over the place and potentially spending money on training courses and or property mentoring and or property deals for a strategy that you will never be able to undertake. Some of these training courses are actually the cost of a deposit on a buy-to-let, and certainly the cost of stamp duty surcharge and getting your legals done, etc. So why waste that kind of money before finding out if you actually qualify for buy-to-let finance? I hear every week from people who spent significant sums on training courses, who have never explored their access to finance, and some don't even have the deposits to undertake buy-to-let, but they've been sold a dream by a property guru. I find it really shocking that people are so easily swayed by marketing hype. It's like paying for driving lessons when you can't afford a car. I also see people discussing tax strategies and paying for often unregulated advice without first checking if they have access to buy-to-let finance. As far as I'm aware, none of these people and companies taking your money ahead of you starting out in buy-to-let will ever ask you if you've spoken to a mortgage broker. Indeed, I heard this week from a lady in very unusual circumstances, living abroad, etc., and she was going to pay £7,000 for a property deal that she'd never seen, and she only had the deposit. And she was informed by the deal sourcer that he could guarantee to get her a mortgage. Nobody can guarantee to get you a mortgage unless you've been through a fact find with a reputable mortgage broker. So please don't fall for these kind of stories that are just really to get your money off you first, and then they'll worry about delivering on their promises later. Now, my advice is to speak to a mortgage broker first, and guess what? It's free. Now, Property Tribes Financial Services are here to support the Property Tribes and wider community, and they can be contacted on 01206 654444. They are whole of market for both residential and buy-to-let, and also deal in more complex financing structures such as bridging finance. Now, a good broker is worth their weight in gold because they can provide guidance and advice during your buy-to-let career, especially when, like many of the property tribes brokers, they actually invest in property themselves. When you're building your portfolio, your broker, along with your tax advisor, your solicitor and letting agent, they are a key member of your support team. And I almost regard these people as actual partners in my business because they play such an important role. So please, before spending money on courses, tax advice, mentoring, property deals, speak to a mortgage broker. It would be helpful to download your credit report ahead of that conversation so that they can have a good overview of your particular financial situation. Straightforward buy-to-let finance is, generally speaking, the easiest to obtain and has the highest loan to values. HMO and holiday let finance is harder and stricter, and loan to values tend to be lower, meaning you have to put in a bigger deposit. Although I'm not a mortgage broker myself, I can say, generally speaking, you need to have a minimum salary of 25,000, have a clean credit rating, and be on the electoral roll. It also helps a great deal if you're already a homeowner, and if you are, you will get access to better buy-to-let products than if you don't actually own your own home. It's important to do things in the correct order in property to save time, heartache, energy, and money. Broker first. Everything else will be dependent on the finance that you can access with your particular personal circumstances. So work smartly. Call the Property Tribes financial team on 01206 654444. And that's for all your property and finance needs, including residential. If you want to change your residence to a buy-to-let, release equity and buy another residence, as in my other video, which I'll link to from here, which is a great strategy for getting started. So I hope you found that video helpful, and who knows, I may have saved you a lot of money by paying for the wrong thing first. So, summary: speak to a broker first to understand what financial products you have access to, and that will help clarify the actual direction and strategy in property that you can undertake with your financial starting point. Everybody is different, so make sure that you understand yours.